welcome everybody to Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host Steve Markey, and always joined by
Charles here.
Today we got some exciting stuff for you. Some movies.
Steve sounds half asleep. What's going on? Did you take a nap?
I don't know. Maybe I'm lacking caffeine. I don't know. Before we start anything, though, I guess there is a couple congratulations going out. The girls' JV volleyball team beat the Romulus JV volleyball team.
From Annapolis.
Yeah, the Annapolis beats Romulus. All of them won. JV, varsity, and the 9th grade team.
Did you get up too early?
No, I don't know. They just zoned out here. So that a big congratulations to them. And again, Tabitha Henson on her house. She finally is closing, and everything went great finally. She had a little bit of an adventure looking at different houses, but it looks like she's finally going to lock it down. We won't tell you where she lives, so you can't bug her. But
I don't know.
So
broadcast it for people.
And Mr. Bergeron Real Estate through Century 21 helped her find her house finally, so she's good to go. So that's the congratulations for the week. And today we're going to start with some taste tests. Charles,
Yeah.
what do you got?
So you stopped by Pizza Hut. This wasn't even on my radar. Steve's got like a snack food radar. So it's stuffed,
as you could tell.
Stuffed Cheeze It Pizza from Pizza Hut. First of all, this box is insanely greasy on the inside of it.
It's very
Go ahead and
flimsy,
grab
too.
yourself. Yeah, it's
And I like how Holly just threw her half-eaten chunk back in the thing.
Thank you, Holly, for this one. That has a bite out of it specifically. Get you some dipping sauce.
and
It looks like an enormous cheese. I wonder if it's just something that comes in frozen at Pizza Hut and then they just
heat it up.
Yeah, or they deep fry it or something. Did you get the pepperoni one? Because there was two different versions.
It's dry. Wow. It does taste like a Cheez-It, miraculously.
It tastes like a Cheez-It, but it does not taste good.
Have you ever thought what a pizza would be like inside a Cheez-It? The answer is not good.
This is foul. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if it's because it's lukewarm or what. This is not good.
I don't even think warm would have made it
Get
better.
that sauce.
You need sauce, a lot of sauce
Oh my
for this.
God, this is hideous.
So dry. I mean, the good news is it's only $6 at Pizza Hut.
So it's $1.50 a Cheez-It?
God, is that dry?
I gotta be honest with you, this is terrible.
I would never buy this again. It's not full pepperoni.
What happened to Pizza Hut? As we discussed before the
It's
show.
little ground up chunks of pepperoni that's in it. Now they have calzones, and their calzones are great. I've had
Those are
their
the
calzones.
P-zones, right? Aren't they?
Yeah, whatever they're called. But
Gotta
they're-
get their branding together.
But
It says they're
these-
baked. Baked, toasty, cheesy, so it must be a baked product.
Well, at least it's not deep fried, so we got that going for us. But they are dry, and
They are not good.
not a fan. So Impossible Burger, yes. Cheeze It Pizza.
That is one of the
I
worst
need-
products
I
we've
need some
tried.
beverage. I need
That
water.
is not good.
We'll have to let Lorna and Heather eat the last two.
No, yeah. Ugh. So I stopped by Westbourne and we were checking out, and I saw this and just had to get this because what the hell? So this is Wild Joy Goods banana jerky. It's not dehydrated bananas. It just they put it as banana jerky. And I gotta be honest, I opened this thing up and the smell wafted up, and it was just a little much. It was
Full
a little-
disclosure, Holly tried it, couldn't even swallow it. So.
Yeah. So get on that Wild Joy's banana jerky there.
It's softer than normal jerky.
It's a weird leathery banana.
Yes, and it feels a little sticky. So I don't know what's happening here.
Smell it. It's got like a weird
It
smell.
smells like a banana's been in the garbage for about a week.
Yeah, it's gross. Oh, that's an odd texture. That is a real odd texture.
Odd taste. You like the taste?
No, not at all. It tastes like oddly soy. Like they used beef jerky like seasonings on it. That is disgusting too, people.
That's worse than the Cheez-It.
Two swinging and misses.
So save your money on the Cheez It Pizza.
Oh my God.
And then I don't think you're ever going to actually run into banana jerky, but if you do, run the other way.
Oh, that is.
I'd
hideous.
rather have the dehydrated banana chunks. You know what I'm talking about?
Banana chips are amazing.
Yeah, I'd rather have
Yeah.
banana chips than that stuff. It's got like a weird flavoring on the outside of it.
Yeah, like they use like beef jerky seasoning on top of a banana and then dehydrated it.
Ugh, it's not a good idea anywhere.
I'm not even going to finish this piece. This is terrible. These are two huge misses. Okay, so again, the Cheeze It Pizza from Pizza Hut around the room, terrible for me.
I mean, bad for me too. But I mean, if you are in love with Cheez-Its, it does taste like a Cheez-It, and it's only $6.
That little known group of Americans that are in love with Cheez-Its.
Yeah, I know Cheez-Its don't have the cult following like Flaming Hot Cheetos do, but I mean, if you're really, but I wouldn't go out of your way to buy that. And then the banana jerky from Wild Joy,
yeah, is disgusting.
and only can be found at specialty markets,
Yeah,
anyways. And
it's
how much did a bag of banana?
That was $6. The same price
$6
as
for a
the
bag
Cheez-It.
of jerky?
Yeah, this shows you how dumb I am.
Ooh,
That's
wow.
gross.
So it was big swing and a misses. We're gonna get a lot of swing and a misses this week.
Oh
a lot
my
of things.
god!
But the
0 for 2 on the taste test this week.
Ooh.
I need to find a new show because this is terrible.
we got to find that Dan Aykroyd liquor. We're gonna just get drunk on the podcast, and that can't be that bad.
What's that? Crystal Skull vodka?
Yeah,
we're discussing.
Yeah. I got a bad taste in my mouth now.
Yeah,
Cheese It mixed with freeze dried banana is not good. Who would have guessed? All right, so there we go. Now we're going to some reviews this week, and we're going to start with the greatest one we've seen all weekend for me personally, Rambo. Last
Just
Blood.
came out on Friday.
We just saw it this morning, right?
Yeah, we went at the butt crack of dawn to go check this out at our local MJR, and there wasn't that many people in there. It was pretty empty.
Yeah, I did. I was curious. I checked the box office for the weekend. They do estimate Sunday's takes, but 19 million for Rambo,
They
19
said
million.
30 something for Downton.
Downton Abbey's #1 with 30 million.
Wow.
And then 19 million for Brad Pitt and his asteroid.
Oh, that's got to be a flop then, because I would assume that's a big budget on that.
Yeah,
movie.
there was a low budget on Rambo, like 50 million or less.
Yeah, it had to be. Yeah, I'm
and
assuming.
then fourth was It again at 17 million, so it's still raking in some money. But Rambo should recoup its money easily.
Yeah, it's got to be low. It's got to be low. But that Brad Pitt movie, they got to be taking a bath on that Brad Pitt movie.
because there's a lot of sci-fi and special effects.
Yeah.
least
They had to like animate the moon and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would assume. Yeah, like he's up on the moon fighting people or something weird at one point. I don't know what's going on in that movie. That movie's a turd. No thank you.
But as far as Rambo goes, I have to say if you're into John Wick and if you're into the older Rambos, this is going to be right.
Or if you're into
alley.
any 80s action flick, it's
Yeah.
right up your alley.
And if you're into, I'd say if you're into horror movies, you might like this movie
true
too.
It's got
They
some horror porn
amp
to
up the violence in this one, and of course, it is fantastic.
it. Yeah.
Big thumbs up from me.
I think you're right to say the violence only exists in probably the latter third of the movie. I mean, it's sprinkled kind of in the middle part of it too.
Yeah.
But it definitely was in the latter third. So you had to kind of work towards it, which isn't typical. Well, I guess a Rambo movie kind of amps up to the end, I guess. But it did take a little while to get into the crazy. And when it got crazy, people.
It was a little level of violence in this movie.
Yeah, so he's like retired Rambo on like a weird ranch in Arizona.
That he went to at the end of the fourth one, if you remember correctly.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he's walking down the road and he stopped at a mailbox that says Rambo.
Oh, okay.
And it's his house, it's his family home.
That's
I
a
guess.
neat callback. I didn't know that,
Yeah,
I'll be
they
honest with you. So he's got attachments to this ranch, and apparently he raises this young girl after her mom dies of cancer, and then the dad was kind of a deadbeat that he had to defend her from. And then they never explained, was the other woman related to the girl?
I think the other woman, was her aunt.
Okay, so there's a relation there, but Rambo then takes on these two, and he's living in a very PTSD world where like he's just messed up mentally, but he's trying to do good at this ranch.
Yeah.
And then the girl has callings to go and find her biological father to get some answers. And then the cartel finds her in Mexico where the dad was, and then all hell breaks loose because the cartel finds the girl and then ultimately tries to like sex traffic her.
Yeah.
And it gets real, people.
There is some Mortal Kombat level fatalities.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, you want people blowing up, stabbed, chopped, moved, blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Great movie.
I think that Sylvester Stallone does an amazing job. Like it's like how as Rocky, he's just who he is. You know what I mean? Like I think he does a good job of like trying to wrestle with demons. Of like, you know, I'm trying to add more depth to a Rambo theory, but I'm just saying like they try to like imply the dealing of the internal stuff with John Rambo, you know, dealing with his past, and then also I think it's very compelling. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Me and Steve were cracking up at some of those fatalities.
Everyone in the movie theater is all quiet. Charles and I are just cracking up.
Oh my God, it was amazing when he broke the dude's collarbone and everything. It's just,
yeah.
if you have any and again, Steve already touched on it, the fourth Rambo. I thought was just an amazing motion picture. Yeah. If you enjoyed that, you're gonna enjoy every bit of this, and Steve and I definitely did.
Yeah, the only knock I would probably give it was a little slow at parts.
Yeah, pacing could have been.
But they had to introduce the characters. They had to kind of tell you where he's at mentally at this point. So I understand why it was that way. So it's not like John Wick, where as soon as they say go, it's action, dead action for 2 hours. This had a little more build-up, more character build-up, which I was fine with.
I think if you think about it, though, back to like Rambo 2, where he meets the one girl, you know what I mean?
It's always been kind of
like he always tries to, like, flesh out a universe, but then the universe just screws him over, and he's got to go real. It's just,
but it was great.
I loved it. Had a great time.
I'd be interested to see if this is the last Rambo. I mean, who knows with him? He pumps out. Maybe there'll be another military kid he falls in with, and he trains him or something. I don't know.
I was a little shocked that the ending wasn't as dire as we initially thought it could be. So. Yeah.
But this is supposed to be the swan song, but we'll see.
How old is Sylvester Stallone?
He's in his 70s.
Is he?
I think I want to guess 72. But John Rambo, definitely Last Blood. Big thumbs up. Enjoyed it. I mean, it's a throwback to
73 years old.
I was off by a year. Yeah, it's a throwback to the '80s Kill 'Em Fest.
It was fantastic.
I really like it. It scratches that nostalgia feel and still gives you something new at the same time. Yeah. Big thumbs up from me and Charles. So please go see it, support it, because Sylvester Stallone doesn't have enough money.
He's barely making ends meet.
I mean, the guy's struggling. All right, he's got some daughters to feed. And I know, and Charles knows.
His daughters are gorgeous, by the way.
Some people's daughters get hungry; they're very irritable. Yeah, so Charles learned that too. All right, so we go from that high to some couple of lows here. I was in funny enough, during the Rambo movie, there was a trailer for Zombieland 2. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the first Zombieland. I liked it because it was a zombie movie, but they threw some comedy in there, kind of like Shaun of the Dead. Actually, I like it better than Shaun of the Dead, but. It didn't take itself too seriously. It was a lot of fun. So The Dead Don't Die is supposedly what I thought going in was going to be along those lines. Bill Murray and Adam Driver. Kylo Ren from the new Star Wars movies.
But big into like those indie kind of movies because he did the one movie where they were bank robbers and all that kind of thing. He likes a quirky type of movie.
Yes, he's kind of going in the Bill Murray path where he does a couple of big budgets, but then he does all these weird little quirky ones. And the two main characters, Bill Murray's the main sheriff, and basically Kylo Ren, or Adam Driver is his deputy. His deputy, okay. And it's a little town in the middle of Louisiana somewhere. And what they state in the movie is there's fracking going on.
Hold on, did you watch this through Blu Ray? Is that what this was?
Yeah, I rented it. Okay. I had DVD actually.
Yeah. But, so there's fracking.
There's fracking in the North and South Pole, which then turns the Earth off its axis.
Okay.
And that's what's causing the dead to come back alive, I guess.
Okay.
So it's real quirky.
It's how they did their premise.
Danny Glover's in it, too. He's a local. Steve Buscemi's in it. He's a local. And it's a small, small town. And it's just slow, quirky characters.
It wasn't funny?
Very little funny. And so the dead starts coming alive. And it's so weird. Okay, there's another girl in it, and I can't think of her name. She was in... Lord of the Rings. She played the Queen Elf in that forest that was
Eowyn or whatever. Yeah. It's not Liv Tyler.
Not Liv Tyler, but the other
blonde-haired girl. Yeah,
you've seen her. She's got buggy eyes. She plays a mortician in this, but she's really quirky. Everyone's quirky, so it's another one of those dark, quirky
Coen
comedies
kind of thing
that Bill Murray loves at this point in life. I don't get it, but he loves them, and so. Adam Driver kind of knows what's going to happen and everything. Like, they're playing this country song called The Dead Don't Die all the time. And Adam Driver's playing it in the car, and Bill Murray got sick of it, threw it out. And he goes, why do you keep playing it? Because it's a theme song, which I thought was weird. They said that earlier. And then he keeps saying, this isn't going to end well, Adam Driver. So, like, this is a little town. They all start dying. Everyone's dying. But they're still fighting zombies. And then they're sitting in a cop car and they're trying to spoil it for you.
But wait, how does like the outbreak or whatever happen?
I told you from fracking in the North and South Pole.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is how does it get exposed to them, or do they just drop it in there and there's just dead people?
it's just the fracking and stuff, and then all of a
So
sudden,
you come into the world and this is already taking place.
no,
or
no,
does
it's
this
not taking place
unfold?
yet.
I guess
It's unfold. The days are getting
Yeah.
real long.
Okay.
Everything's getting real
That's what
weird.
I'm asking.
And then at one point in the cemetery, you see people digging out of the
Oh,
cemetery.
okay. That's
And then
what
from
I'm
there, it just gets crazy.
Okay.
And so they're sitting in a cop car, Adam Driver and Bill Murray. And Adam Driver goes, I told you it wasn't going to end well. And Bill Murray goes, how do you know that? And Adam Driver, during the movie, goes, I read the script.
Huh?
Yeah, and then Bill Murray goes, you read the script? He only gave me my scenes. And, like, they actually...
So it's a weird fourth wall kind of movie?
Yeah, but only that part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then the girl I said who was from...
Who directed this? Is this like a Wes Anderson movie?
No,
or
I had some guy, Jim something. I never heard of the guy in my life. And then the girl who's the mortician who's from Lord of the Rings, she's chopping people with a samurai sword, and then she goes to the cemetery, and a spaceship comes down, sucks her up, and leaves.
Did he explain it or
No.
just does?
No. Adam Driver goes, that wasn't in the script. That's what he says. So, and then the two of them get out of the car.
This is like beyond quirky.
It's
This is like,
super weird.
You're never going to
And-
know what's happening.
And it's slow, and I'm making it sound more exciting than it is.
Yeah.
And they get out of the car, and for some reason, there's like hundreds of zombies around. They're like, we're going to fight them all. And then, of course, those two die, and then the movie ends.
What?
I swear to God, that's how it was.
Oh, my God.
It was so weird.
It
so,
sounded promising as we've kind of talked about it before on the show quite a few times. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bill Murray zombie movie. I'm listening. And then what?
Yeah, I'm convinced the only good movie he's been in is St. Vincent for the
Yeah,
past
wow.
10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if he owed a guy a favor or what this was. And it was trying to be a comedy, but not a comedy. It was terrible. The Dead Don't Die. Stay away from it. Even if you love Bill Murray.
Wow.
Go watch old Bill Murray stuff. This is terrible.
Yeah,
so
wow.
the next one is Ma. And
This is with Octavia Spencer, correct?
yeah, you ever thought maybe I would like to redo Misery, but instead of torturing one writer, maybe have the main character torture a bunch of teenagers?
Okay.
That's essentially what this movie is, but done way, way shittier. Just terrible.
It's something about like a sorority or a fraternity.
No, it's
thing?
none
No?
of this sort. The kids are in high school.
It's not college. Huh?
So it's a small Ohio town, and I'm going to spoil this too because it's a piece of shit. No one should watch it.
Oh, wow.
It's a small Ohio town where Octavia Spencer and some of the adults have all grown up together. And Octavia Spencer was in high school. She was crushing on this one boy, and she got tricked to go in a closet and blow him. Come to find out, it wasn't him; it was some other dude. So they pulled a prank on her. So she blew some other dude. That's the only prank they ever pulled on her. They never mistreated her any other way, and she was the laughing stock of the school, whatever, and left. So apparently, for 30+ years, she's
just been
planning,
harboring this.
She's been plotting her
So
revenge.
these are the kids of those people?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And the kid drives up in a security van with that guy she was crushing on's name on the van. So she puts this elaborate plot out to buy alcohol for these kids and have them party at her house to eventually get her revenge on the guy that pulled a prank on her 44 years ago.
Is this one
or
of
30
those
years.
movies that you're shocked that she's in it? Is that what basically like?
Yeah.
it's
Well,
not-
Luke Evans in it too. I don't know if you know him. He's a pretty
sure,
popular
yeah.
actor. And there's a couple in it that are like, really? You guys had to slum to this
Or
level?
like, I wonder if it was one of those movies that was in the can for a long time, and
Yeah.
then she got more popular. or
The other
something?
woman off of I, Tanya is in it too, that played the mom.
Margot what's
Yeah.
her nuts off the sitcom Mom? or
Yeah,
whatever,
she's in it too. So there's three big
Allison
actors in it.
Janney,
It's
that's
that's
it,
it.
yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, what are they doing in
Yeah.
this? It was terrible. It was, and here it is supposed to be like a horror kind of scary. Nothing scary. There's no real
It's just
suspense.
her plotting and
Yeah,
just
and
continue
it's
on.
it's so bad. And it's one of those movies. It always bugs me. She works for a vet. And she has tranquilizer. It's one of those ones where as soon as she sticks it in you, you immediately pass
Oh,
out.
wow. Doesn't
Yeah,
have to course through?
Yeah, it's like, oh, get out of here with this. So Ma is terrible. Octavia Spencer should have known better. This was just
Wow.
a bad movie. 2 stinkers in a row this past week, but Rambo was great. And then the next one, did you finish this movie?
I didn't get to finish it because football came on, but I'm
okay.
pretty far in.
I don't want to ruin it for Charles too much, but Between Two Ferns, the movie starring Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, it's based on his Funny or Die skit that he's
Yeah.
done for a long time.
Will Ferrell's in it, and a ton of celebrity appearances are in this.
Yeah, and we were talking about it as we were going to the movies or whatever. It's fantastic the way he just rips on these celebrities. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's funny. Sometimes Zach Galifianakis, a la Bill Murray, gets so off the beaten path, like you even miss the funny out of
Yeah,
it sometimes. And I don't think Between Two Ferns has that. We talked about baskets again in the car.
Mm-hmm.
That show sometimes I'm like, it's so highbrow humor, I even lost it. You know what I mean? Like, but this one's really funny just with the way he goes right at it. It's on Netflix, which I think is pretty cool. If you have Netflix, you should definitely check it out. But they basically took that Funny or Die skit that he would do where he would interview celebrities and be really just upfront and like bring up all their crap, which is really funny, and like extended it out to a movie. There was also a lot of comedians that I'm sure you recognized in the movie. Throughout it. So basically he screws up a studio and then has to get back, so he does a bunch of interviews to get back for Will Ferrell is what the loose premise they gave.
Will Ferrell basically is pissed off at him, so he has to film 10 celebrity interviews in 2 weeks. Across, that's one thing me and Michelle were like he goes to Kansas and was like, what celebrities are actually in Kansas? I mean, Chicago and New York are kind of got, but after that, it's like, really? Like, they'd be in Missouri to get the table. But they get, I mean, Paul Rudd, Peter Dinklage, David Letterman, John Hamm, Brie Larson, Matthew McConaughey. They get a lot of celebrities to be in this movie.
Yeah, it's really funny. Just the way he goes at him is really funny.
And like Rambo, the only knock I'd give on it, it's barely a movie. It's mostly it's mostly his skits with these
kind of loosely tied together.
Yeah, it's barely a movie. But other than that, it's a lot of laughs. I recommend watching the credits because they have the bloopers from when he's doing, and that's pretty funny. All great. Thumbs up for Between Two Ferns. Actually, a movie made for Netflix. Well, not really. It was really made for funnyordie.com.
Yeah.
But the Between Two Ferns movie, big thumbs up. And Rambo this week, big thumbs up from me. And Charles will finish it next week to let him officially know. Now, the one show I've always avoided, it looked too much like a soap opera to me. Downton, and I used to say Downtown. I realized it's not. Downton Abbey. Yes. Charles went and saw it. Please explain.
Yeah, I love the show. I've watched all the seasons on PBS. Heather and I came to it. We watched basically from season 2 on live. We missed the first season until word of mouth hit us, and then fantastic show. If you like The Crown on Netflix, Downton Abbey is fantastic as far as showing you both sides, the front and the back of the house with this royal house in London. And this movie is a continuation of the series. I believe it went 5 seasons, and then they all walked their own separate ways. Like, they basically agreed to stop the show. But the problem was the show's so goddamn popular, like a la The Office and Friends, that they try to find a way to shoehorn. And the way that they could basically get all the actors back was we could do a 2-hour movie. None of them would sign on to do a TV series or like a season of a TV series. So Julian Fellows, the guy who wrote the show,
you're deep. You know the writers? Jesus Christ.
Julian Fellows is like huge with all this. He's the main one that wrote and came up with all the story arcs to all this fantastic show. And they got all the original cast. There's no one weird. Everyone's OG series. It's only been 2-3 years since they stopped making the show. It's not like it's been a long time. I just find it funny, and Heather and I talked about it. None of them are really knocking it down. So, like, why? What? The only one that is, and again, Tom Branson is one of the main guys. They shifted their focus to him, and the series wasn't a big focus on him, but he played Rami Malek's love interest in Bohemian Rhapsody.
With that,
and so Heather and I are convinced because he kind of was the only one that found fame after it, that they almost tailored the movie to be more around him.
Your sound went a little weird on you when you were talking. That was weird.
Sorry. But yeah, so they follow a lot more in Tom Branson.
There. Huh? It's like we're hearing crackling on some of the things.
Might be your headphones.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just didn't.
It just got better.
Yeah, it's your headphones. So I think the 2-hour movie was fantastic, but I talked about Steve again pre-show. The problem was the pacing of it. The pacing of it, I would say, suffered a little bit because usually you had 10 or 12 episodes to kind of arc these stories. Here you only got 2 hours. So I would say it felt a little rushed, but if you're a fan of the show, it picks right up from where Downton Abbey ended. It's got a great thing with the Queen and the King of England are showing up to this royal house, and then like all the preparations that take place into that. Super fascinating movie. There was a little hokey stuff again with like the Tom Branson character. He thwarts an assassination attempt against the king, of course. I thought that was a little shoehorned again. Like, okay, Like, not only are we showing all this, but we'll also stop an assassination while he's here real quick, and then we'll move on to another topic. But it's a continuation of one of my most beloved shows. I think Downton Abbey is one of the best shows I've ever watched on television. It's that good.
That's a big.
Steve's gonna fall asleep.
That is some big praise.
I love it. It's right up there with a Sopranos, with a Breaking Bad, because you wanted to know more about all these characters, and they do such a good job of like giving you plots that affect these characters, and then sometimes how they intertwine a little bit. Downton Abbey is a great show, and this movie is worthy of that show. And again, it makes sense because the same guy wrote the movie that did the show. The other thing that was nice, and I talked to Steve again, because it was a movie, the budget went up. So I think it was shot beautifully. Like, Downton Abbey is also the show on PBS, and it was also in conjunction with the BBC, was filmed really well when it was a show. This movie looks even better. I don't know what the heck. They obviously got more budget for production and all this kind of stuff, because it not only was it a pretty show, they went next level with it, and it's a beautiful show. So big fan of the Downton Abbey movie.
Now, funny on this next one, I actually saw the ad for this at Family Video, and I didn't know it was already out. I Am Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, so I Am Patrick Swayze is basically a 2-hour documentary, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but it's on the Paramount Network. It's the same network that gave the I Am Richard Pryor I talked about in a previous podcast. It's basically just a big biography of Patrick Swayze. And I thought it was really fascinating. And again, we watched it on demand. It actually aired at the beginning of September, so we're a little bit late to it. We tried to record it, and somehow it didn't record. And then I was reminded that it aired, so then I went and found it. You don't realize, like, the story of Patrick Swayze. Like, his mom was like a ballerina or a ballet teacher, and that's why he knows how to dance so well. Into a lot of the stuff with Dirty Dancing, The Outsiders. They interview a bunch of people, like his wife is in here, his brother that looks creepily like him was in here, and stuff like that.
He shows up in an occasional movie.
Yeah, I Am Patrick Swayze is a fan. If you are interested in that, they go into the Roadhouse stuff. The only thing that was kind of annoying to me, they didn't go into She's Like the Wind, the song off of Dirty Dancing. They didn't discuss how it came to be. Yeah, I'm like, what the heck, man?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, but they go into his cancer diagnosis and how he chose to continue to work, how he lived on a ranch outside of Hollywood because he couldn't handle being in like the actual, like in the actual city proper of LA and stuff. Very fascinating documentary. He's got one of those resurgence kind of a la the Keanu Reeves thing that I think that if he were around today, people would be endeared to him. Very similar to what
One thing's for sure, if he was around, he would have been on The Expendables.
Yeah.
They would have put him on The Expendables.
And you don't realize, like, he was kind of a badass dude. He was a scrawny kind of dancing guy, but like he tore all the ligaments in his knees and kept filming and a bunch of stuff and just doing a lot of like crazy stuff. Like he was that like Hollywood outsider that like people were like, he was super dreamy. You know what I mean? Like it was cool.
His cancer smoking related?
He got pancreatic cancer. He smoked definitely. He also had some demons with some alcoholism that I didn't know. He took his dad's passing really tough. And they kind of touched on that. And like I said, his wife didn't shy away from a lot of stuff. They were separated for a time. And, what's funny to me was he was married the whole time. He was like Hollywood heartthrob.
No.
Oh, man. I was like, Jesus.
I missed his opportunity.
But, yeah, I Am Patrick Swayze. It's on the Paramount Network. It should be available on demand. I don't know if it's available at Family Video.
I think next week it's coming on DVD on Family Video.
Okay, so yeah, it was a great biography of Patrick Swayze, and like I said, if you're anything interested, and who doesn't know who Patrick Swayze is, it definitely is pretty good.
Holly.
Okay.
So to recap, Rambo, great movie, blood and guts. The dead don't die, just that movie should die. My God, it should never been made. Between Two Ferns, great laughs. Check that one out. Downton Abbey, if you're a fan of the show, you're going to love the movie. And I Am Patrick Swayze. You can learn everything you ever wanted to know about Patrick Swayze. Yeah. Now we're going to go back into our retro reviews. Geez. And
I finally caught up.
I was a little different from Charles on this one, just because if I had a choice, gun to my head, to watch Casablanca 1942 starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman, sorry, I can't say it. I would pick this over Gone with the Wind only because it was 2 hours instead of 4.
This movie was so bad. I didn't know. I thought that Casablanca was like a detective story. I had no idea what it was about.
I didn't know Casablanca was even a country or wherever it is.
Yeah, like northern Africa, and they're basically
Morocco. It's in.
Yeah, they're fleeing rather, like German occupation. And these are people,
and it's a neutral country, so no one can. So
well, it's France occupied though, so the French could go. I don't know, man.
Yeah, because like the Germans and France weren't fighting each other.
They were just kind of hanging out.
I think they said it was a neutral country, so you couldn't. There was no fighting. But, but you could kind of manipulate it behind the scenes.
Dude, this movie is terrible with a capital T.
The one thing I will say, it was made in 1942, where Gone with the Wind was 1939. Casablanca looks older than Gone with the Wind does.
Oh
and
my
not even
God.
just because it's black and white. It looks older.
It had like much less. It felt like it was on a sound stage somewhere or something like that. Like it just didn't have the fleshed outness that Gone with the Wind did. I don't know like how to describe it other than, like I said, I felt like I was watching a play, a very bad play, and it just was terrible.
And a lot of music.
Oh my God. And again, here's another case of a 70-year-old guy in this Humphrey Bogart trying to be some young heartthrob. And I don't know what was going on in Hollywood in the 30s and the 40s.
Well, interesting you say that, because I started looking it up again because of the age difference between him and the main actress. I never found their ages, but he married, I forget the name of her. She's a popular actress. She was only 19. He was 44 and married a 19-year-old.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
man.
so that might have been like the norm back then, I guess.
It was weird, but I did not like this movie at all. I can say I've finally seen it. Steve and I talked about how like so many things in pop culture that are referenced by it, and I didn't know
Looney Tunes love spearheading that shit in that movie.
Like a little smarmy guy and all that kind of stuff, and this movie is so bad, and like he's trying to be indifferent because he got slighted by the chick, and then the chick comes back, and oh God, people avoid this movie if you've never seen it. It is just a tough.
Now
watch.
the other ones that he's popular in, what I hear is
Maltese Falcon,
and the River Queen or something. He plays a riverboat captain.
Oh jeez,
Randy told me about that.
I am not watching those. I'm done.
No, I've had my one Humphrey Bogart. I think I'm done. It was a lot of talking, a lot of nothing. And then at the end,
nothing did happen.
Spoiler from a 1942 movie.
Yeah.
At the very end, him and the German guy both shot at each other. I don't know how the German guy missed him, because it was like from me to you.
And then also he had it in his pocket. So it's so bad.
I don't know.
And then like the
there.
weird police guy from the prefect was just cool with him at the end. And,
yeah, this is a starting of a great friendship or something.
It's so
a lot
bad.
of iconic lines in that movie that we've heard over the years.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. And
all
there's
the
also
gin
the
joints
song
and,
that they kept playing was a big deal.
So there's
too.
some iconic stuff in there, but boy,
why did people latch on to this? I don't get it.
I'd like to see the other options in 1942.
Yeah,
I mean,
did you look up? Did it win Oscars?
I think it did, but I didn't look it up for sure. I was more looked up about his age, because there's something about creepy old men and young women back in the 40s. I'm not sure what happened, but it was definitely a rough one. So it wasn't.
Won Best Picture in 1944.
Yeah, 44?
That's what it says, 44.
It came out in 42.
Well, probably the year that it aired, I would assume.
Okay.
Maybe. It won Director, Best Picture.
Best Actor? Humphrey Bogart?
Yeah, Best Supporting Actor, and that weird, creepy guy. The Claude Rains is the prefect guy, so the chick didn't win. Oh, this movie. So bad.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. But they're old. They're done. We're done with them.
We jumped off the 80s to go pick on the early stuff. We did that. You brought up a great suggestion. I think we do that this week. You said American Graffiti, George Lucas's first movie.
70s.
That's 70s, so we're picking on a different generation.
Yeah, and we're going to try that one with Ron Howard, George Lucas directed. Yeah. Now, allegedly, this movie spun off the TV series Happy Days. Happy Days.
Is Henry Winkler in it?
I don't know, but I know Ron Howard is.
Does he play like the Richie Cunningham in the movie?
No, but I don't think so. But the popularity of this movie and how much loved it.
Okay, it was easy to greenlight a show.
Greenlit a 1950s movie based just on the popularity of American Graffiti.
I'm glad to see Casablanca hasn't made any shows. Jesus.
So
we'll do American Graffiti will be the next one.
Yeah, and
Harrison Ford's in that, I believe.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think so.
The only one I know for sure is Ron Howard. Everybody else,
I'm pretty sure Harrison Ford got his OG start in there.
Yeah, so there's you're going to see a lot of classic actors in this one.
It's like a hot rod culture movie or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's the Greasers are supposed to be in it.
Oh, great.
That's according to Randy. He remembers it.
So we both haven't seen that, so we'll check that out.
Now, Dad did suggest, I don't know if you caught the one text, Urban Cowboy with John Travolta.
I've seen that, though.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And Kim suggested some ones. I can't remember the names of them, but God, did they sound awful. One was a Lucille Ball and Henry Fonda about he has 6 kids, she has 6 kids. They're 2 widowers, and they meet each other.
It's called the Brady Bunch. I've seen that.
Yeah,
before.
I know. That's what I said, but it's not the Brady Bunch.
Oh.
It's I don't know what it is, but I don't know. We'll have to think about that later. But right now, American
Graffiti for next week.
All right. Now we're going to go into one of my favorite segments, 3 minutes of wrestling, just a little bit. Really, most of the news is they are gearing up for SmackDown on Fox.
Still pimping that everywhere.
Yes,
They're in football this past weekend.
So Fox, what they did for SmackDown to get people to watch, they brought Brock Lesnar back, first time in about a month and a half, and he challenged Kofi Kingston on SmackDown for the title on the first episode of Fox SmackDown. So
they're trying to load up the names for the first episode.
Yeah, so the main event's already set. Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston on Fox.
Are you intrigued by that matchup?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think I don't know what's going to happen there.
Kofi Kingston's the guy with the weird chest, right?
Yeah.
He's a little dude.
He's still been the champ since WrestleMania.
But he's a little dude.
Yeah, he's not very big. So he's still. I mean, Lesnar should just destroy him and win. Now, to support this, Fox is airing 2 preview shows for SmackDown, kind of recapping the history of SmackDown on one, and then the other one's going to be. I didn't put the dates down. The other one's going to be what to look forward to, this introduction to a lot of the superstars and stuff
kind of
like
give you
that.
those plot lines.
Yeah, so Fox is promoting them because that was one thing that McMahon was claiming why his ratings were down is because the networks weren't supporting him. So he can't claim that now. Fox,
I tell you this much, like I said, it's all over.
Yeah,
so
Fox
if it
is
doesn't
supporting
hit, it has nothing to do with Fox. I'll tell you this.
Yeah. So now also this past week, NXT, that's that small division of WWE where the training guys, it made its national broadcast debut on Wednesday the 18th. 1.9 million viewers tuned in for the.
Is that a big deal? I was going to ask you. It seems like it beat a bunch of stuff. Is what you're saying.
No. It lost to all those shows.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Never mind. Oh hello.
So that's what I was. My point was, this is a big debut. This is what's going to.
Well, that American Horror Story is a whole new thing where they're stuck in the 80s and everything like that.
Well,
Heather
that's the
really
one I'm not going to knock them for. I mean, American Horror Story
Black
is pretty
Ink
big.
Crew is pretty bad.
Black Ink Crew and Basketball Wives it lost
Yeah,
to.
I don't
I
know
mean,
about
that's a little rough. 1.9 billion viewers. Not exactly setting the world on fire.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, Raw only gets 2.5 million viewers. So it's not that far off from Raw. So now I did a little research. I didn't post it in the notes, but so they've been bagged down for their ratings and stuff like that. So I looked back. It's like 1998, 1999,
like
2000.
an old school Raw.
Yeah, when they were in the peak of their popularity. And I was wondering what the views were then, too, thinking it's going to be 10, 20. It was only on average 6 million viewers then.
But that's 3 times the audience you're telling me right now.
Yeah, but in my head, for some reason, I thought it was like 10, 15 million viewers, where that's not the case.
Yeah, but not whatever. I am no executive of a TV station, but if you've got a third of what used to watch a show, I'm not happy about it.
That is true.
And I guess you could also, to play devil's advocate for McMahon, TV is so different 20 years later. So I guess you could argue that, like, you can't compare. It's almost impossible to compare the two, but a third of what you had is not good.
Yeah, that is true. But, I mean, 2.5 million, they were averaging 5 to 6 million a week. It's about half of what they used to have.
Okay.
But still, that's not good.
Yeah.
So, but NXT didn't exactly set the world on fire. Now, of course, they're spinning it and saying it was better than what it anticipated and stuff like that. So
they anticipated less than 1.9?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, wow.
But that's going to be the main competitor to AEW when it comes out on TNT. And we will post the ratings on that to compare what it does against NXT. So just a little look. I just thought it was funny that they were losing to these no-name reality shows on cable. I had to look up Black Ink Crew. I didn't even know what that was.
It's just a tattoo shop, right?
Yeah.
All it is Chicago.
It's on VH1.
Yeah.
They lost to a huge reality show on VH1. I didn't know what channel VH1 is
I didn't
anymore.
I was going to say, I didn't even think VH1 and MTV had, like, live shows. It was all just ridiculousness.
Yeah. Well, recaps over and over. So there's a little look at some wrestling, a little outsider. So Fox is expecting big things, and NXT off to a okay start, I guess you could say. So now we're going to football, and this week I played a pick'em league with my wife.
Yeah, you had said this before.
I couldn't have been more wrong. Jesus Christ, I did so terrible this week. First up, Thursday night game. Jacksonville loses their starting quarterback. Their star cornerback wants out. They're in disarray.
They just came out today that they're not going to trade him.
Yeah, so now they're not. So it was all in disarray. I thought for sure Titans would walk in there and win. Well, was I wrong? Jacksonville smoked them 20-7, and that doesn't look that bad. But it was Jacksonville went up 14-0 right away, and pretty much just stayed in control.
Stayed on the.
And they sacked Mariota 9 times in one game. So I don't know who's playing offensive line for the Tennessee Titans, but yeah, and the whole AFC South right now. I mean. Colts,
they
Colts
won
got
today, didn't they?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. And the Colts look rough. They all look rough. I don't know about the AFC South. Houston was struggling today against someone. I forget who they're playing, but they weren't. They were losing when we were live. The other big news in the NFL before the weekend was Peyton Manning. Eli Manning was benched for the rookie.
The guy out of Kentucky.
And we just looked, they're losing 10-15 to the Bucks, so I'm not sure the switching of the quarterbacks helping them any, but we'll see how that game ends shortly. Now let's go into some college before we finish on the NFL. The big one this weekend, I missed the first half of it, especially here in Michigan. Everyone's hyped. Harbaugh had a week off. He went into the war room. He's going to unleash the Michigan firepower.
In Madison. He was supposed to go into Madison and show them this new look U of M offense.
And I missed the first half. I was doing some family things. But when I turned it on in the third quarter, at one point, it was 35-0 Wisconsin. Wow. I was not expecting that. I mean, I'm not a Michigan fan, but I thought it'd be close.
Is that running back from Wisconsin? I told everyone that running back from Wisconsin is really good. Really good running back.
Michigan's got some problems. Well, I mean, you scored nothing up until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, where's that vaunted Michigan offense?
Shea Patterson's not the answer.
Right now, they wish they had Lloyd Carr back at this point. I mean, his offense wasn't nothing great, but they could score points. So 14-35, I think, was the final score. Michigan just got smoked, and this game was never competitive.
Yeah.
At one point,
28-0 when I turned it on.
Wisconsin had 350 yards rushing. The main running back, Charles, was talking about a plus 200 and 2 touchdowns.
He's an amazing running back. I don't know the kid's name. I can look it up, but yeah.
You got a week off. You don't know Wisconsin's coming out and running. You're not loading the box.
Maybe you just don't have the talent for it.
I don't know. That Michigan's got some problems. They got to figure some stuff out because right now it doesn't look like they're going to win any big games this year. Not really heartbroken. Now, the other big game last night that everyone pretty much watched,
where college game day was and everything.
Yes, Notre Dame versus Georgia.
In Athens, between the hedges.
Notre Dame was a 14-point dog on this one. A lot of people thought they were going to get mollywopped like they did against Clemson. But Notre Dame showed up.
I thought Notre Dame did really well. Me and you had a conversation about this again. If the very end of the game goes a little differently, they're making Georgia sweat. You know what I mean? Like Ian Book had a shot towards the end and everything like that. I think it was a great showing.
They had to lead 10-7 at the half.
Yeah.
So they were in the game. Georgia did not cruise at all. It was back and forth.
Yeah. They said the Jake Fromm kid had a pretty off game, they'd call it, so he didn't look as good. Maybe that was the defense causing some issues. I'm not pretending to watch the game film. But, yeah, I'm super happy. As happy as you can be with a loss.
Yeah.
The only issue is, and again, you and I talked about it, going forward, I don't know what Notre Dame can do. The problem is Notre Dame has got a ranked Virginia team this week, but then you've got Michigan coming up, who doesn't look to be much this year. The USC Pac-12 stuff, Stanford Pac-12 stuff. You know what I mean?
They've pretty much kissed the playoffs goodbye, but they could still easily finish with just one loss and go into a nice bowl.
Eke out a really nice bowl.
Yeah, so that's probably their future there. Now, the one that desperately needed to rebound along with Michigan was Michigan State.
Yes.
And they were playing Northwestern. Again, I take Northwestern. Michigan State wins 31-3. So no matter who I picked this week was terrible. So Michigan State, I don't know if they corrected all their problems or Northwestern's just that bad, because I think Northwestern did lose to Nevada. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have thought about that before I picked them. So, but MSU corrected the ship 31-3. And then
then before you jump off that, also Arizona State lost to Colorado, as we discussed too. So that loss looks even worse now.
Yeah. So some weird things happened there. I don't know what's going on with Michigan State. Now it's going to be interesting. Michigan State versus Michigan. I'm not sure who's going to win that game.
Where's the game at this year?
I believe Ann Arbor, but I'm not sure. And then finally, the other good game I thought of yesterday. People might argue Oregon Stanford was pretty good, but Auburn and
Texas
them
A&M,
boys,
Jimbo
and his boys.
Yeah.
Auburn kind of controlled this game for
It
most
really
of
wasn't as close as even the score would reflect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that Jimbo and them boys are just lacking in the SEC talent to be that next tier. I don't know what more you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know. Auburn looks like it's got another gear than everyone else, and so does LSU, and so does Bama. And it's just like, how do you compete with this? I don't know, man.
And Auburn runs an awful lot of gimmick plays. I mean, I've never seen so many gimmick plays on them. It's one of those ones where they roll right and then throw the screen back left, and then they do this other move where they huddle up like 1 yard from the ball and come up. Yeah. They're always doing weird stuff, but I mean, credit to them, man. They keep people off guard. Auburn looks pretty good, even with the freshman quarterback. Texas A&M just don't have the magic they had last year.
I was shocked to see Penn State still undefeated, huh?
Yeah, Ohio State's still undefeated.
Yeah, Penn State, Ohio State, and Wisconsin are all undefeated, right?
Iowa might be. They beat Iowa State last week. I don't think they played this week.
I didn't wave to the kids. I don't know.
What?
The children's hospital.
So Big Ten's still out there. SEC is still going, but I don't know. Clemson and Alabama probably just heading.
I don't know who's chopping Clemson's head off. I don't know who's doing that.
Maybe Georgia might squeak it. It's one of the three, really, and that's about all you got. One of them's going to drop a loss somewhere, but we're not sure where.
Well, because they end up playing each other. So, the LSU, Georgia, Bama thing tends to mix it all up.
And then with Wisconsin.
Also, Florida's really good, too, I believe.
Yeah, they already got a loss, though, I think, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah, so it does make it interesting for the Ohio State-Wisconsin game. That should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
See, that should not.
When is that?
I don't know. It's sometime in the next month, or they might face each other for the Big Ten title later in the season as well. So, Wisconsin and Ohio State probably a good one. Everything else pretty much went by the numbers as far as college football. I didn't really see too many other things. The biggest upset,
October 26th.
There you go, and it's at Ohio State. That's the problem. Wisconsin doesn't travel well, but we'll see there. So that's the college, and we're going to go back a little bit in the NFL, at least the early games. I don't know how many people listen to the podcast.
Your Falcons look like hot garbage.
I am a Falcons fan. I've always liked the Falcons, back to Chris Miller and Deion Sanders. And I mean, a long time. And boy, outside of that dome, do they look terrible.
I'm telling you, man.
They lost to Indianapolis Colts.
At least my squad lost QB1. What is your squad's story?
They can't play defense. They turn the ball over.
I don't know, man.
Atlanta is just a hot mess right now. I don't know if it means the coaching change is coming. They're a far cry from their Super Bowl run. So congratulations to the Indianapolis Colts. They are now 1-2, and so is Atlanta. Now there was 2 games on today here in the Detroit area during the 1 o'clock.
The KC Baltimore thing. Baltimore looks scary at times. The first quarter of that, streaky. I was like, "What is going on? Like, is Baltimore for real?" And then Kansas City, second quarter, found a whole other gear that just Baltimore couldn't do anything for.
But they still came back, made it close. 28-33.
I'd already flipped over to the other game we got, which was the Philly-Detroit game.
Now, Detroit tried their hardest to give this game away.
They really did, didn't they?
Oh, my God. They're up 27-24. They're going to kick a field goal to go up 30, and they get the kick blocked.
And then run back far, too.
And I would argue that if the Eagles didn't get 3 offensive pass interference calls against them, how many times have you ever seen that in the game?
They love those picks in Philly, man. They're running them all over. They multiple times.
Well, they're also pushing off the DBs. You can't do that. Sproles did it at the end of the game. So Philly kind of shot themselves in the foot on this one. The Lions tried to shoot themselves. No, Lions are 2-1,
technically undefeated. Wow.
But the only criticism I have for them is, where is this? In the preseason, this vaunted defensive line I kept hearing about. There's no pressure half the time.
Not a lot of pressure. They did bat a lot of balls today, which I thought was weird to see. I don't know.
Mr. Snacks Harrison, the Flowers
the big
guy.
One, a lot of people, and even Spielman was going off on the broadcast. There was a simple play on third down that Matt Stafford should have made, but he was running out feeling pressure and then threw the ball cross body and skipped it. And they were like, you can't do that. That's always the rub against Stafford, you know?
So Lions got some things still to clean up. Interesting game next week versus Kansas City. I just don't see the Lions winning that one.
It's at home.
And again, I took the Eagles and the Lions win. So I'm just whatever team I picked this week, I'm just go burn my picks. But there's a little look at the preview tonight. We got the Rams and the Browns.
Yeah, it looks like right now New Orleans is putting it on Seattle. Seattle,
New Orleans had a punt return, a fumble return for touchdown. They scored 2 non-offensive touchdowns.
Garbage. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't have to do too much.
Well, it doesn't help that the Seattle's running back, he slipped and fell twice while trying to run the ball, and he fumbled. But who do you like tonight? Rams at Cleveland.
I don't believe in Cleveland yet. I think that all those names don't necessarily translate to wins yet. So, in my opinion, it's not even a question.
I think they lean too heavily on
OBJ
the pass and the OG. Yeah. They need to get more balance before they start winning. So I like the Rams in this one.
Who's Monday night?
I don't know.
Okay.
I should know, but I don't know. I know. Bears and Redskins.
That's one I'm not staying up
That's
for.
when you had to pick the total. I was like 22 and under. I see that to be like a 10 to 12 game. That's not going to be exciting. That's going to be a rough one to watch. But there you go. So a little look at the NFL and the college. Now we're going to go into rapid fire. Now, one of the movies I realized comes out this week, but I didn't think I put it on there last week.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
So I kind of missed it because it's Brad Pitt, and who cares?
No one wanted to see it anyway.
Only middle-aged women care about Brad Pitt. So rapid fire at the theaters. Now, 21 Bridges. This is a movie with the guy who plays Black Panther. He's a head detective in New York, I believe. He's on Manhattan Island or whatever it is. Someone pulls some major crime, and there's 21 bridges going on in Manhattan. He has them all shut down and put on a manhunt for this guy in the
to
island.
Trap him on the island.
Yeah, I think so. And they're trying to find this guy. Most of these guys outside the Marvel movies are kind of turds. So I'm not going to see this. 21 Bridges is a no for me.
It sounds like a straight up like on HBO randomly one day for me. That is a definite no.
Now I am a huge comic book slappy, even though this one's going a little off script with this, but it looks great. That dude Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor. Weird dude.
I also didn't know that Todd Phillips was attached.
Yeah,
to
the Hangover director directed it.
He also came out and said that he was trying to avoid the DC Universe stuff. That's why he set it in a different time and all that.
Yeah, so this has nothing to do with Wonder Woman or any of those other movies. The Joker comes out. I think it's just called Joker, actually. I'm going to see it probably this weekend. Or actually, it comes out the 4th of October. So I will be there with the wife and kid. Actually, probably just the wife. I don't think Holly's interested. The Joker, yes, for me. Charlie.
It's one of those ones where I'd have to listen if there's a groundswell. That's my whole thing. I listen for word of mouth to listen. If you come back and you're raving about it, and then I'm intrigued. But as of right now, I'm a no.
I'm going to go in with the intentions of not tying it to any comic. That's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try to keep an open mind, forget about everything I know about the Joker, and just see it. Because from what I understand, that's what you need to do. If you're a diehard comic nerd wanting something comic-based, I don't think that's going to be the movie for you. Now, this one I missed last week, but it came out this week. This is Brad Pitt's version of Gravity.
Yeah, he's up in space.
Ad Astra. His dad went in space, and now he has to find his dad or something. I don't know. It looks terrible. Him and George Clooney have a very bad track record to me. So I'm a no on Ad Astra.
I'm a huge no on this one. I don't trust either one of those guys. Saw the trailer and was like, who's watching this? Who's making this? No.
Unless Brad Pitt's part of a ensemble cast, I really don't want to see anything with just him starring. Like the one with Quentin Tarantino where he's with Leonardo DiCaprio and all. I'll see that, but this one,
yeah.
So now on Blu Ray, coming out this week, already on digital, but now coming out on Blu Ray this week. Spider-Man Far From Home. I saw this in theaters. I did enjoy it. I do like the Spider-Man movies. I'll probably get a copy of it. I'm a yes on Spider-Man Far From Home.
It's a comic book movie. I'm a no.
And then the other one, a couple horror movies for you. Child's Play with Mark Hamill as the voice of Chucky, and they redid this. I think the girl from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'm a yes on Blu-ray.
On Blu-ray, I'm a yes for this Child's Play. I'd check it out if it was available at Family Video.
Yeah. And I take that back. It's not a horror movie. This is that female spy movie that came out in the beginning of summer called Anna. Looks very Black Widowish. She's a trained assassin type deal. It was kind of low budget and went under the radar this summer. God, I'm like 0 for 10 on these female spy movies. They always end up sucking. Red Sparrow, all these other ones. I'll probably watch it because Michelle's big into it, but I'm a hesitant yes.
I'm going to keep it rapid? No.
No, okay. The Shaft with
Like 3 generations.
Richard Roundtree, all of them.
Sam Jackson.
I like Sam Jackson. It's worth a rental for $350. I probably wouldn't have ran out to the theater to see it, so I'm a yes on Shaft.
Steve is 100% wrong. He'll be complaining about it next week. I'm a no.
I mean, if I can sit through Ma and the Dead Don't Die, I can definitely sit through Shaft. And then finally, this is the one where the Indian kid wakes up.
He's the only one who knew of the Beatles
Yeah,
song.
no one else knows of the Beatles. This looks terrible. I'm a no on Yesterday.
Weird, like Slumdog Millionaire Indian guy. I just, no. I don't know what this is. No.
Yes, so big no on those.
Do you have a big affinity towards the Beatles at all? Like, do you have
their music's good, but I don't need to go out and buy it or watch movies about it. I tell you what, if they came out with a big budget, like Bohemian Rhapsody style movie based on the Beatles, I'd watch that.
Someone playing the Beatles?
Yeah. If they did it Bohemian Rhapsody style, not that Rocket Man style. They do that Rocket Man style. I'm out.
You want a straight up biopic?
Yeah. With actors that look like them,
I would go and see a movie based on something like that if they were honest. In other words, like Ringo and Paul and Yoko didn't like whitewash the. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, bring it in how she really drove a knife through all of it.
And how they had their drug trips and everything. Yeah, well, that kind of what Bohemian Rhapsody does a little bit. They skirt it. So new on streaming this week. This one's with Jennifer Paltrow. It's called The Politician. Not exactly sure what this is about. I think it's a kid running for student council, and somehow he gets like a powerful political team behind him to run for student council. I'm a no because it's Gwyneth Paltrow, and no.
I'm a what? I didn't know what this was, so I have no idea.
Now this next one's a bonus episode for the David Letterman show. This
was out a while ago.
Oh, did I? I just saw it. I didn't know it was out so long ago.
Funny as ever.
My guess was Zach Galifianakis with David Letterman. Yeah. I haven't seen it, so I'll be a yes. I'll watch it.
I already watched it, and I'm a yes.
Was it good? Was it worth watching?
Funny. I like Zach Galifianakis. Okay. I don't know how to explain it.
And then you remember the show Transparent? That's with Jeffrey Tambor. He played. So I guess they never
Jeffrey Tambor.
Tambor. Yeah. So he had the sexual harassment charge. So they never really got to finish the show right. So I guess they made a 2-hour musical finale of the show.
What? I gotta pause you for a minute.
What
is with television shows doing music? Like the Family Guy is always doing them, and it's like. No one. This is more fun for you than it is to. What's the Clooney theory? You know what I mean? Like I don't like watching this.
There must be a crowd that likes all this musical crap. I don't know who it is. There's no one in my family.
Is it like Housewives or something? I'm not trying to.
I think it's female based. I don't know. I mean, because look at it. They made 3 Pitch Perfect movies. Somebody likes them. They made Chicago. They made Moulin Rouge.
Heather and I joked about it. It's
and
like all of a sudden, all these like every show has got a musical episode.
Well, there's a lot of movies too. Everything Hugh Jackman does outside of X-Men is a damn musical. Yeah. I mean, The Greatest Showman could have been a great movie.
Wait a second. He did, what is it? The one with the fighting robots, Red Steel.
Oh, it does have Real Steel or whatever
Real
it is.
Steel.
Yeah, but Transparent, the musical finale. I didn't ever watch the show, so I'm an out on that. No.
And it's a musical, so even if I watched the show, I'd be annoyed. So no.
Okay. And now, lastly, the games. Now, if you remember these games, these came out a while ago.
Baldur's Gates are really well thought of.
1 and 2
based, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they enhanced them a little bit with the graphics. Still a lot of text to read and stuff. I'm out on that. I don't want to play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 again.
This came through when I was a big PC player, and I never played them when I was playing on PC, so I'm a no on Baldur's Gate games. But I know that there are some people out there who would love to see a remake, which they did.
Now, the next one, out of all the Tom Clancy series, this is probably my favorite. I love the Ghost Recon series. I always did, even when we played it on
Xbox 360. Yeah, they're fun.
The newest Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This has John Bernthal, whatever his name is. He's the lead actor.
Bernthal,
the Punisher. Yeah. He's basically in it. It's kind of open world. I played the last one that was open world. It's a little bit of a departure from the older ones we played.
So it's an offshoot of it kind of thing?
Yeah. The other ones weren't open world. These are. But I enjoy them. I like Ghost Recon. I'm a big yes on Tom Clancy Ghost Recon.
And I would be a yes, too. I'm sure. I just don't know much about it. Listening to the bomb, because I don't think I've heard anything about it. So it must be a little under the radar. But to your point, kind of Call of Duty came along and really kind of pushed Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
But to your point, we had a lot of fun with them back in the day.
I enjoyed them. And like I said, they remade the last one about 2-3 years ago. I played through that one. I enjoyed it. You were taking on, ironically enough, Mexican cartels again.
Yeah.
Did
you set booby traps in tunnels?
No. Actually, you were just more old school. You had a squad and shot people in the face.
Boo.
And then
did you shoot them when they were stuck in the face with like a big spear?
Yeah, make sure they were dead.
Cut their ankles off?
So the next one, I don't think I ever played this one when I was on 360. It's a Ghostbusters game. A lot
Based on what? The Melissa McCarthy movies?
No, it's based on the originals. And a lot of people, believe it or not, feel that this is the true number 3 of. They say this movie, because it has the voice of Harold Ramis, and all the guys came back to record voiceovers for this game. I must have missed this when it came out last year.
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't know.
I don't think it's a very long game, so I'll probably rent this and crack through it. So I won't buy it, but I will rent it. Ghostbusters Remastered. Charles?
I'm intrigued to hear what you would have thoughts about it, because like you said, somehow we missed this. I don't know much about it.
They've always said this is the true number 3.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I'll have to play it and see.
Give us a review on that.
Because I missed it last gen. I don't know how the hell I missed it, but I must have. All right, so that's going to be the Rapid Fire this week. And Charles, what's happening in MMA?
Well, and I predicted this last week when I discussed the UFC Fight Night. This UFC Fight Night in Mexico was a complete shit show. I told you that the card sucked. I nailed that. No good fights. And then the main fight, who was with Jeremy Stevens and a guy named Yair Rodriguez, ends in 15 seconds. The Rodriguez guy eye pokes Jeremy Stevens.
Three Stooges style?
Accidentally with the open fingers. You know what I'm talking about? Oops, poked you in the eye. They called the fight within 15 seconds.
How badly did he hurt that guy's eye?
Apparently pretty good. I didn't even watch it. I told you this was a shit show. I told you this. I predicted this, and I was right. But the best part was the crowd went bananas. So imagine you spent like however many pesos to go and see this in Mexico, and then like they ended it in 15 seconds. They came unglued. Like they started throwing shit and like complaining because
I heard the announcer hit under the table.
I didn't see that far.
Yeah, because it came up in my wrestling news, too. So like, when something crazy happens in UFC, it shows up in my wrestling news feed. And they were like, yeah, the announcer was under the table.
Dude, I don't know.
They were throwing so much
People
stuff.
Were pissed. So, didn't watch it. Maybe I'll check it out, see if I can hear it underneath there, because that's funny. But, yeah, I predicted this was a bad card to begin with, and then to have a shit show of a main event is just hilarious to me. So that's a bit of a black eye for the UFC.
Poke eye.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
So the other one that's coming up, there's a UFC Fight Night next week, ESPN Plus, talk about all the time. This one's a little rough again, too. So this one's in Denmark. It's got a weird start time because of that Denmark, because they love to sprinkle this product worldwide. That's what they do. The biggest thing is this Jack Hermanson is going to fight Jared Cannonier. I don't even know who they are. Don't really know them. They're not on my radar. If you don't know,
there's no way any of us are going to know.
So I don't know. It could be decent. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to get poked in the eye and they're going to start rioting. I don't know. But kind of an off week.
What would they throw in Denmark?
What's that?
Would they throw clogs?
What would they throw? I don't know. Like, what's the Stroop waffles or whatever? I don't know. But anyway, nonetheless, UFC is kind of slowly getting into UFC 243 is coming up pretty soon. That's what they're working their way towards. But they're just sprinkling this product. And sometimes you got a turd. And apparently this week was that turd.
Sometimes you get too much exposure. So there you go. A little UFC with the announcer hiding under the table. Yeah, because then they made fun of him in tweets. Like people were hiding under tables.
That's
like, look, I'm a
funny.
UFC announcer. Yeah. So there you go. Now we're going to news, the most important part of the day. Some news. Charles, how much do you love streaming? How much do you love streaming programs?
We've talked about it before. I'm looking very forward to the Disney app. I think the Disney app this fall is huge. Other than that, the rest of the newer ones kind of aren't hitting for me so far. And here's yet another one, according to what your article is.
That is right. NBC is pulling out their Peacock.
Yeah.
What a weird name for a streaming service.
Because I saw an announcement they yanked the show off one of the services to push towards the Peacock. I think that's what, I don't know. So Comcast owns NBC. Does Comcast have any other streaming services? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so they're just this is their first dip into the streaming.
They one of them, Friends, not Friends.
That's Warner, right?
Yeah, it might be they're taking two big ones.
Office.
They're taking The Office and Parks and Rec.
Then at the same time, Netflix announced in 2021
they'll have
Seinfeld exclusivity, which is
really. Does that mean people watching these?
$500 million, dude!
Yeah,
Holy hell!
And he owns the rights to that show. So
dude, how many more Porsches is he gonna get in his garage?
Driving cars with friends, he's gonna have 10,000 different cars. To pick
I don't know, man. Like at some point you can't have 75 services. You just
How
can't.
much?
We tried to save money by going to these streaming services, and now they all want to just get a piece of that pie.
There's three of them that shouldn't exist right now.
What are
One's
those?
the Peacock.
Yeah.
The other one's the CBS All Access. That doesn't need
The
to
CBS
exist.
All Access really doesn't need to.
And the DC Universe one.
Yeah,
Because that should just
in
be
the
part of
fold.
the Time Warner
yeah.
one. Even the Time Warner one doesn't really need to be there, really. But okay.
I would argue Time Warner needs to be opposite of Disney.
Yeah.
I could see that at least.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the
man.
NBC one. So they're big draws. There's 2 big draws early on right now. The revival of Saved by the Bell, and it has
something
a
happened with
weird-
Mark Paul Gosselaar where they didn't ask him or something like that. I don't know.
They
It's
have
weird.
a storyline already drawn up. I don't know if you've heard it.
I've heard about it. Yeah,
He's going to be the governor, and he's going to condense the schools, and then Jesse and Slater are going to be the parents of some of the kids that got to go to these schools. I don't know. And then Battlestar Galactica is coming back, but it's not going to be a reboot.
I was
from
just
what I
about to
understand.
ask you, what is
It's
it?
going to take place in the same universe as the one we saw on Sci-Fi Network, but
Which I'm okay with.
But it's going to be another storyline.
Depending on, I will listen for reviews on that, is what I would say, because I really love those newer Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
That Battlestar Galactica that came back out was
That last
fantastic.
half of the last season, they dropped the ball a little bit.
Oh
though.
well,
They
I mean,
went a little
shows
too
fumble all the way.
They
to
went
the
a little too
bottom.
religious or whatever that was near the end. But I have to admit, it's the best thing that's ever been on the Sci-Fi Network.
Yeah, by far.
I mean, I tried Defiant afterwards, and I did make it through Defiant, but it got canceled. So that's the first 2 big ones they're coming at you with, and I don't think either one of them makes someone want to pay for it. No. I'll just catch the Battlestar Galactica on DVD when it gets released.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the Peacock.
Any
prices.
announcing on pricing?
No,
Yeah,
not yet.
What's
no date either. 2020 sometimes.
Just whenever.
Yeah. So
what's the date on the Disney one?
November
you just signed up
12th.
for the 2 years. You said right?
Yeah, November 12th.
November 12th.
Yeah, Disney will be hitting November 12th. I just wonder why couldn't they just release the new Battlestar Saved by the Bell on Netflix? Have Netflix pay them for the rights, make some money that way.
I don't pretend to know.
There must be some kind of nickel and diamond going on there that it's just cheaper for them to do it themselves. I guess.
At some point, we're gonna reach saturation. I don't know what's going on.
I think it already has.
No one's gonna have 15 streaming services.
So
And
some of these got to crumble eventually.
That's
right?
what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
get folded into something else.
Either that or just going to live off of reruns, and people are going to buy it for reruns.
You know, it's funny because, and you have a daughter who's definitely in that time, and Heather has her students. These people that are just The Office is more popular now than it ever has been.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. I love The Office.
They are dying to reboot that. You know, the 2 girls' office started a podcast. Jenna Fisher and
Angela. Yeah, they're best friends in real life.
So they started a podcast based on the show, and they're going to go episode by episode talking about it.
That's pretty good. I'd probably listen to that.
Yeah, so there you go.
I do love The Office.
Get your Peacock out.
But like you said, at this point, Seinfeld aired mid to late 90s?
Yeah.
If that
It was over
early
by
90s?
2000,
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't get it. Why do you want to? Maybe Holly, because she never experienced it then, but someone our age, I can watch reruns on TBS and TNT any day.
They're
of the
saying
week.
it's going to be exclusive home, though. That's the big push for all this.
Like every
You
morning,
won't
I
be
watch
able-
King of Queens. Everybody loves Raymond and something else.
So
and
what
you don't
they're
have to pay a
saying
nickel.
is at some point a streaming service will show up to Ray Romano's house, give him a bag of cash, and as soon
Scrooge
as
McDuck style.
yeah, and then basically say you can't syndicate this just be on our app. And I think that's what happened with Seinfeld. That's why it's 2021.
Oh man, so crazy. So they're all fighting. They're all trying to get your dollar, and we'll see who lasts. I just don't see this NBC one lasting very long.
Yeah.
We'll see though. All they need is a couple hot shows outside of their
Battlestar
basic-
Galactica, I'm listening. I really enjoyed that.
And I don't know if you've noticed during football, all those Apple TV.
There's a lot of them.
Well, they just showed like a 10-second of a show. And
Yeah, the
that's
Jennifer
whole commercial.
Aniston one they pimped, the Octavia Spencer one. I didn't
I
realize
didn't see
Aaron
one.
Paul or whatever's in that with her.
I didn't see one that I thought I want to watch.
It's pretty cheap though. If they got a good one, I'd give them $6 for a month or two. You know what I
You
mean?
catch up on all of it. and
$6 isn't that harsh. You know what I
then,
mean?
yeah, it's still Apple. Screw them.
And the other thing too is, at what point are we going to start seeing? I just saw it, and I didn't put this in the show or the news articles or whatever. TiVo is going to start showing ads before your DVR'd content on select. So it's like, dude, come on.
Well, I got to rant a little bit later about some ads that came in that's never been before. So now I don't report on mobile gaming too much, but I thought this was interesting. Call of Duty is coming to mobile, Android and iOS.
Is it Call of Duty proper, or is it going to be a Nerf Fortnite?
It's going to be
competitor?
a Nerf Fortnite competitor is what it's
okay.
going to be. I don't know too many details about it, but
I'm
I just
shocked
thought
that there isn't one now.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
I thought, yeah, I thought it was just gonna be like a companion app type deal where you can pick your loadouts and stuff and set them on your phone. Or
They've had those forever.
Yeah, but I guess they're a full blown Call of Duty's coming to mobile. Hey, pay $2.99 right now and get this M16.
Yeah.
Get this skull mask for your guy for 99 cents. Also coming out, and this might be up your alley, a new Terminator first person shooter's coming out.
I don't know.
I don't know if you watched the video with the link, but it doesn't look bad, doesn't look great either. Doesn't blow you away. But here's the thing. It's the same company that made a Rambo game, I guess.
Look at the move.
Yeah, too. They made for the 360. They made Rambo, and from what I understand, the Rambo game is just hot garbage.
There's bad sounds on TV. I'm sorry.
So if they haven't learned anything since they made the Rambo game, that makes me a little nervous.
Oh, okay.
So, but I don't know. A lot of Terminator pimping. He's showing up in Mortal Kombat. Terminator showed up in Gears of War. Now there's a Terminator game coming. So they're after
They gotta
us.
try to make that product relevant.
They're after us gaming nerds with all that Terminator stuff. So look out for that. It comes out in December. It just kind
the
of
game comes out in December. When's the
Yeah.
movie released? You know?
I think November.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I bet you late October almost. Is what I
Yeah,
would
they might want to avoid November because of the holiday movies that start coming out. Now, Charles, we tried the Impossible Burger from Burger King.
Yeah, this is good news. So they actually are getting into stores, grocery stores proper, only in the California market. There's a specific grocery retailer that got the rights to carry the Impossible Meat ground product in the grocery store.
Yeah,
So
you can buy a package just like a package of hamburger.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for a nationwide rollout. They're saying by early spring 2020, it should have a nationwide rollout to all grocery stores. So I'm hoping Kroger, where we shop, Meijer, where Steve shops. Hopefully, we can start to see this because it's a fantastic product. I mean,
Really,
I don't know.
it's all going to depend on price. If I can get a pound of burger for $2.99 and I got to pay $7 for a pound of Impossible Burger meat, it's going to kill it.
I would pay the premium.
You would. Not
would.
many other people
I'm just
would.
saying I would. The biggest thing is for me with that Impossible relative to the Beyond Meat, that Impossible Meat, it just tastes like burger. I don't know what is going on there, people. Like, what magic is in there?
They
What
say it's some kind of soy thing in the soy.
It is incredible
But
with
that,
the way they do it.
what's doing it hasn't fully passed the FDA yet or whatever.
Okay.
That's why it's
That's
only
why
being
it's
released in
limited
California right
rollout.
now. Yeah.
Okay.
And only fast food joints can have it or something like that.
Okay.
So that it's in that article if you want to read it, but it's coming. I think price is going to be the
The
sticking
biggest thing
point.
is, and you and I talked about this before, the minute that stock goes public, I'm buying the crap out of that stock.
I mean, if a pound of hamburger is $3.99 or $4, and that comes in at $5, then sure, I'll buy it. You know, but like I
It'll
said,
probably be $6.99.
if
You're
it's
probably
$7
right.
or $8,
It'll probably be like $7 for that pound.
that's going to be a little.
That's
rough.
right around what Beyond is. I want to say Beyond is $5.99 or $6.99 a pound.
Yeah, they got to lower them prices. It'll sell. It'll be.
I don't know if they
There'll be
can.
quicker adaption if they did that.
I don't know if they can though. I'll be honest with you.
Well, you don't got slaughtered cows, just fucking soybeans ground up.
It's crazy. I don't know, man. That Impossible product is a big thumbs up for me. I'd love to make tacos out of it and everything. I just think it'd be great.
So it's eventually coming, but if you're in California, you're gonna get it before all of us. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a little couple rants that came up over.
These are some weird ones.
Yeah, this is a weird one. So we on the podcast we talked about it. We all got Fitbits. You got yours and Heather's. And
I have a
Lorna's.
Charge 3. Heather's got a 2. You have a Versa.
Yeah,
Is your
Versa.
name?
Yeah, which is kind of like a smartwatch.
They're fantastic products.
And you had yours a couple months before I got mine. And I got
Heather's
mine in
had hers for
August.
years.
So there's a community option in that. That's where I send you guys the friends invites, which took us a while to get that all.
Yeah, it takes some coordination to get
But
those
once
going.
I signed up, it took from the time I signed up until current, and that's what it showed me of you guys too. So it didn't. So we were all close to each other, like 70,000 steps each or something like that.
Okay.
Because obviously it wouldn't be fair if they took it from May when you got yours and I got mine in August.
Oh, is it an overall number that they're giving you at
Yeah,
the bottom?
yeah.
Okay.
So it gives me a chart under friends. The top 3, it's like me. It'll be like you, then me, then Heather. Then
Okay.
throughout the day, Heather will shoot up, and it was kind of cool for a couple weeks.
okay.
All of a sudden, it just quit working.
Oh, that you can't.
We were all at like 72,000 and
We're
going
using it
up and
on
down.
the PC though.
No, this is on my phone app,
Oh,
Android,
okay.
is where it keeps it. And what all of a sudden what happened is it took like 20,000 steps away from Heather, so she went from 72,000 to 52,000.
So this is all over the place.
Yeah, I lost 10,000 steps, and then you gained like 40,000 steps. I was like, what What, do you run a marathon?
Yeah, bang that out right quick.
And it's been like that now for a week. So it worked great for about 2 weeks. And now
I didn't even check.
So there's
it.
some
You
glitch in
apparently
there.
are checking it way more than I do.
Yeah, I thought it was
know.
kind of neat that we're all together.
It's fun to see the
And then
group
throughout the
going.
day while I'm walking, I get bored and like, where's everybody?
Yeah,
Charles is ahead of
okay.
me right now. And
Yeah.
like in the morning, I would always jump up on everybody because that's when I do most of my walking. And then
Throughout the day, you trickle down.
I drop.
Yeah,
And, it was
okay.
kind of fun, but then it just went screwy. And I
No,
don't know.
I didn't even.
Check it out if I'm on there.
More,
Yeah. I don't wonder if yours is going to be more up to date than mine. But
we
so
have
there
the
you go.
same phone, so it's the podcast phone. It's the LG Stylo 4.
Yeah, so maybe an update will fix that. I don't
maybe
know.
we'll check out Heather's. Hers is an iPhone. Maybe it's different.
Yeah, because mine went all screwy on me. But
Wow.
but like I said, yours might show something different because it only shows from the time I signed up to current, where yours might show you from May to current.
But it should if it's going to compare the three of us, it should be when all three got on there.
Yeah, it tries to keep that time, which it did for 2 weeks.
And then it just was like, meh.
And it went crazy. All right, so there's the little look at the Fitbit Air. So hopefully they might be able to clean that up. Now, I was at the gym, again, trying to get my steps. That's the other thing about the Fitbit. Remember I told you it knew I was on an elliptical?
Okay. It was like picking up your exercise
Yeah,
based on your heart
it only
rate.
did it once. It never did it again. I've been on an elliptical like 4 times. since then.
I don't have any of those parameters set up. I don't do any of
I never
that.
did either. Just did it on its
Oh,
own.
did it?
But it
Yeah.
only did it that one time, and every other time it's like, screw you. You're not really on a fit.
I was reading an article. Fitbit's trying to get bought out. I don't know if
Oh,
you know
really?
that or not.
Well,
Yeah,
they
they're
need-
trying to sell their tech to somebody. It's a whole
probably,
thing.
Probably Under Armour who bought Fitness Pal.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's too bad. I mean, it works good as far as like
I like
stuff.
the product.
Yeah, I
really
like
do.
it. It's just
I
these
don't
little
know.
glitches that they
Yeah,
probably
I mean,
have
it's
to work
such a
on.
tech-forward piece of device. Yeah, it's not shocking that's flaking out.
So the other morning, I was on the elliptical, and I always just turn on SportsCenter.
I sit right in front of the ESPN.
Well, at LA Fitness, they got little
okay.
TVs right on the
Planet
thing.
Fitness. I find the ESPN, and that's the treadmill I sit on. So I know exactly what you're about to go on about.
Yeah, I've never seen this before because I don't know if it's throughout all the
They'll
sports
small
centers.
box it, too.
Yeah, so they show the top 10. I don't know if people
It's fantastic. At the end of the hour.
Maybe I'm late to the game. Maybe people already know this, but so they start showing the clips, the first 6 clips. Before they show me the 5th one, they stop everything and give a 30-second clip to Liberty Mutual.
Small box, big box.
Yeah, they literally showed me.
Yeah.
Well, this one, the whole commercial took over the screen.
Okay. I've seen small box, little box.
This is a 30-second commercial about Liberty Mutual. Times are tough for ESPN that they put a commercial halfway through the top 10.
That Disney, man. Business daddy's got to come down and get that money.
God, I can't believe that. So the top 10 on SportsCenter now has a commercial halfway through the top 10.
SportsCenter's been kind of whorish for a while. If you pay attention, the ESPN products
Snickers was kinda in there
you
for a
see
long
like
time.
again like small boxes and all that kind of stuff.
But I thought, you could show me the 10 and show me a commercial afterwards.
They also brought back Chris Berman and Tom Jackson for ESPN Plus on Sunday. Did you see that?
No, what are they?
You can
they
watch
look like the old guys off the Muppets at this point.
I don't know, man. You love Boomer, so shut up.
No, I'm
Like,
saying he's old as fuck though.
Oh, I hate him. I couldn't stand
I haven't
him
watched
there.
ESPN
Yeah, so you
pregame
get
at all.
ESPN Plus, and you can watch them on Sunday mornings.
Oh,
I'm like, who gives a shit?
yeah. So I thought that was interesting that there's a commercial halfway through the top 10. And then the other thing, everyone always screams if you're a PC nerd or whatever. Eventually, I do want to get a new PC. Mine's getting long in the tooth, and I do look at prices. And there was a graphics card that was supposed to be a deal. It was over $900
Yeah.
for
It's like
one
2080 or something like that.
Yeah,
Is that
it's
what it
like
is?
Jesus.
It's still
Christ.
crazy. Yeah, I gave up, and you and I have had these conversations quite a bit. I gave up chasing PC hardware a long time ago. It is crazy.
It's
You
so
go down a
insane.
whole wormhole where you're like, dude, all of a sudden, like I got a $4,000 piece of equipment sitting here. Like,
Yeah.
This is crazy. Yeah.
It adds up so,
No
and even
way.
if you build it on your own,
Yep.
if you build it on your own and you want decent stuff, you're gonna spend
That
$1,600.
graphics card. And you know what I think killed the graphics card market, in all honesty, is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah.
Yeah, because people were using those GPU cycles to do the processing, and they figured out a way to do that. It blew the whole thing up, man. And now you've got this whole thing with the VR and the ray tracing and all this kind of stuff. Dude, PC equipment is still just as crazy as it ever was.
Yeah.
I'm like you. You're a little more up to date than I am. I've got the newer when I had the issue with the video editing. But like, I don't chase PC hardware at all. I think gaming consoles are where it's at, and I think, and you and I differ on this. I think the streaming is the way to go in the future. It's got to happen. Stadia or someone's got to get it right, and that's got to be the future because you just can't do it. I mean, it's not 1998 anymore. Like, no one wants to buy an MPEG 2 encoder card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy.
So PC prices, even if you're building your own, because you always see that too. If I look,
Pittsburgh took the lead. Oh yeah.
oh man, I always see that too, where there's a gaming PC goes on sale and it's about $1,200-$1,300, and it has some nice stuff.
But you start looking at those specs and you realize it's 2 generations behind.
Well, and there's always comments. Well, you buy this piece of shit for you can make it your own.
Yeah.
And then when the guy posts all the parts he made their own, it costs more than the PC that's on sale.
And then you got to worry about things not working correctly.
Yeah.
But then again, those gaming PCs, those Area 51s and all, dude, they're crazy.
Oh, they're way overpriced.
Yeah, like those free. No, thank you.
Dell makes a gaming PC that's not Alienware. It's not that overpriced. Same thing with HP. They make an Omen line.
Yeah,
it's about a couple $100 cheaper than that. You're paying $200-$300 more just for Alienware.
But let me ask the question here: what game are you going to play on the PC that you can't already pick up on a console?
Yeah, not much. Well, I guess if you're into strategy or.
But you don't need a honking machine for a strategy game. So.
Well, I use it because of the graphics and stuff I use for work. And stuff
so video production, graphic, if that's what you do for a living, that's a wholly other different conversation. But I'm talking about if someone's like, I'm into Twitch streaming and doing all, dude, you don't need that rig. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, so there you go. A little look at gaming PC, and boy, it's not as cheap as it used to be. I'm telling you that right now.
I would argue it never was.
And you know another thing they never consider is like when everyone's listing their parts is the actual buying of Windows. That's like $200 to buy Windows 10. Everyone always just overskirts.
And now it's
unless they're all using pirated shit.
But you can't anymore because the authentications are so crazy.
Yeah.
So how are they doing that? They must know someone with an enterprise ID or something like that.
Yeah, because there's something always shady about that. It's like,
these are the same people that pay $20 a month for their cell phone. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're torrenting all the local TV shows and everything else. Look, get out of here with this.
I don't know, man. But I'm with you, man. That PC stuff is crazy.
So
There's that Octavia Spencer show right here.
Fitbit's got errors. PC gaming is extremely expensive. And Sports Center is down on its luck and needs to put ads in the top 10.
As I just saw Octavia Spencer, I thought it was. Did you see the trailer? It was in the beginning of Downton Abbey. I just have a question more than anything on the podcast here. Did you see the trailer for that Harriet Tubman movie?
No.
Oh my God! Check that out. It's called Harriet or something like that, and it's about Harriet Tubman who freed the slaves underground. Man, that movie looks good as hell. That's the one with the English girl playing Harriet Tubman that everyone's up in arms about and all that stuff like that. Man,
is she black?
What's that?
Is she black?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just because she was British, you couldn't be. Well, but
now you can't even be British and play character. God damn it!
Yeah. So they're freaking out about it. Yeah, they should have went to an American actress. They're saying.
Are you serious right now?
I'm dead serious, but it looks amazing. Is what I brought it up.
Superman was British at this point.
I don't know, but all I'm saying is, after this podcast, I'll show you that trailer. It looked good, man. I was like, this is really good looking. Yeah. So, the other thing I was going to bring up too, and I forgot, I was talking to you about it a little bit earlier. I saw a second show on Epix that I want to check out, and I'm like, apparently I got to get this for a month or two or something like that. So they got that precursor to Downton Abbey by Julian Fellows, the guy who wrote Downton Abbey, does a previous generation of a royal house, and I'm like, okay, I'm into that. On Epix, I'm like, what the hell is this channel, and what is it? We got to look into it. We got to figure that out.
When you're surfing on the AT&T to get to HBO to Showtime, there's 4 channels in between called Epix. I don't have them; it blacks out, but it shows me what's playing. They always have better movies than HBO Showtime.
See what I mean?
But I don't want to pay for
What
them.
is this channel? What is this mythical
new
channel?
pay station of some sort. I don't know.
Who just starts up a new page? Is that what Stars became or something?
No, Stars is still there. You can still the Stars is on one of the stations.
What is Epix? After this, I'm gonna have a whole conversation next week on what is Epix because we got to figure this out.
I know you got to pay for it. It's not free, so it's gonna cost you $8
but how much
a
is the stream for? If it's only $6 or something like that,
I don't know if they have streaming. I think
it does. I think it
does it?
Yeah. So I'd like to check out that Forrest Whitaker show with the Bumpy Johnson stuff that we talked about.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the basically the prequel to Downton Abbey looks really good too.
Problem is they won't put all the stuff out at once. I got that Play On
Trickle
app,
it out.
So if I can get the stream, I can just
yank it.
Yeah.
Are you having good luck with that app? Because
it's useless.
I had a rough time with that app. Like I said, it crashed a lot on me, and it just wouldn't pull the stream the way I needed it to.
No, it did. Well, you don't have Plex, right?
No, I don't have Plex.
It works great with Plex because it'll.
It's like a plug-in or something, basically.
It'll steal it and put it right into the folders, just so Plex can read it perfectly.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is, it's only like Netflix It's
It's
only,
anything you have streaming, right?
No, it's not everything.
Oh, it's not?
It's very limited. Like the DC Universe isn't on there. You can't use DC Universe to get it.
Oh.
So there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work.
I thought it could take any stream.
Yeah, that'd been great. And then I'd give it an A+.
Oh, okay.
And usually, like, so you have to put in your Netflix login and password.
Yeah, your credentials.
Your Amazon Prime login and password. It'll work for that. But then, like, say it's a CBS thing, you got to go to the CBS website, and it'll pull some stuff off that. But if it's not on CBS, the website, it's not going to pull it. It doesn't pull off of everything.
Yeah, I had the worst time with
It's been great.
It was just airing out. I haven't used it on the new PC yet, but like I said, the previous one was a nightmare. I'm like,
I bought the lifetime membership. I got on sale for like $25 or something like that, and I've had it, but I don't use it nearly as much as I thought I was going to use.
You thought it'd be like, this is the best thing I've ever used.
Yeah, I was like, I'll get a bunch of these and then cancel all the subscriptions.
But it's limited on what it can plug into.
Especially with the DC one. That sucked. I was like, thought for sure I'd get all T-Titans and everything. Nope, doesn't work. I was like, God damn it. And then I checked the forums. Everyone's requesting DC Universe.
Okay.
It has like base channels set up, but it's
like
all
certain streaming channels.
Yeah, but it's all crap on there. There's nothing you want to see, but there you go. Anyways, we're not pirates. We didn't do any of that stuff. It's all legally paid for.
Yes.
Anyways.
My legal subscription.
Yes, legal subscription. So there you go. There's a look at everything. Some news. Get your Peacock on. Some Call of Duty. ESPN has hard times. MMA. People are throwing things at announcers and everything.
I gotta check that out.
And stay away from the Cheeze It Pizza.
Yeah, Cheeze It Pizza is gross.
All right. So, of course, you can catch us on Apple iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify, and anywhere you can find podcasts, pretty much. Or you can go to fatguyslittlepodcast.com. Check out the website. We'll listen to the
we link to those YouTube videos that no one's watching.
Yeah, YouTube videos that no one. I don't know what we got to do to.
We
get
got
people to
more
watch.
views this week. We're double the views on our.
Well, 2.
No, we had 12. I was like,
Whoa.
what happened here?
Oh, man. so we get some views here and there. Facebook's probably our most active. If you watch us on Facebook as well too.
Do people pick us up a lot on Facebook? Are people watching this right now? Are they watching a replay?
It tells you engagements and views, and I don't know how long it has to be a view. I don't know if it's a whole show. I don't know if it's 5 minutes.
But there's a handful.
But there are views, usually
cool.
around 40 or 50. So
it's more than our YouTube channel.
No, we're not doing the greatest. We probably should put some money into this
or some effort.
That's another thing too. But it's just something fun. We're not out to make cash or anything off. It's some stupid
talking about the dumb stuff we're into.
Yeah. So, all right. Until next week, where we get to talk about American Graffiti and what other bad movies we see that week. This is Steve and
Charles,
and we'll catch you next time.